Happy Money. Today's episode is your ultimate guide to everyday savings. We are revealing the top hacks to save money on groceries, household goods, clothes, and more. Joining me to teach us the secrets to outsmarting retailers and scoring huge savings is the co-founder of Crazy Coupon Lady, Heather Wheeler. Thank you for joining Happy Money, Heather.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Our pleasure. So the Crazy Coupon Lady is now not only a social media handle, but it is an app. It is it's a website. It's a philosophy.
Yes.
It's huge, but it didn't start that way. It started with a mom just trying to save money for her own household. And I can relate. I'm a single mom. I totally get it. Can you talk me a little bit through some of that backstory and how you got to where you are today?
Absolutely. So this was 16 years ago, if you can believe it. I cannot. And I was a stay-at-home mom with 2 young kids and just trying to make ends meet. We had student loans, we had a mortgage, all of the things, but I wanted to be home with my kids during that baby phase. And so I was just doing everything I could to figure out how to save money and stretch. And I learned about this way that people were using coupons to get nearly free stuff at the grocery store. And I'm a bit of a skeptic. So I was like, no, this is too good to be true. So of course, I drug my best friend to the store with me. It took her a couple weeks for me to convince her that we were going to try this. And we got through the checkout lane. We had 2 carts full of stuff. And we saved over $700 on our first, our first stab at this. We really did not know what we were doing. The internet was so different back then that it was really hard to find the information, but we were hooked immediately.
So wait, talk me through that again. So your 2 carts were worth $700.
Yeah.
You get to the checkout and you're thinking this is $700 worth of groceries.
I was panicked. I was sweating.
I know that.
I don't have $700. What if this doesn't work?
Right. And so I've been there before at Costco. I've had 2 carts before and I've just you don't even know how much it's going to be, but you're just so stressed and you have those emotions going. And so you knew it was going to be $700 and then you had coupons that you were hoping would offset it. And what did the price come down to?
$70.
Oh my goodness. So you were $700 worth of groceries. You got it down to $70.
90%, which is not, that's pretty
I've never heard it
crazy.
That's
right?
amazing. But that was all coupons.
It was all coupons. So we were stacking the sales at the store with the coupons.
Wow.
And got it down to $70. And we rolled out of there, looking behind us, is this fine?
You're did we steal something?
What? It felt too good to be true still.
Wow.
And so we immediately just got home and I was calling my sisters and my neighbors, oh my gosh, did you know that you can use coupons this way? And so Joni just decided, in the middle of the night, she was up with one of her babies and she's like, I'm just going to start a little blog so that we can tell our friends and family about this. And then a month later, we were at the grocery store and there was another woman with a binder. Back then you had to have a binder with your coupons to keep it all straight. And we saw somebody else with a binder. So we're like, ooh, that's fun. So we went and talked to her and she was like, yeah, I use this site called the Crazy Coupon Lady. And we were like, how does she know about the Crazy Coupon Lady? And so we went and put a little site meter on the blog to see how many people were visiting every day. And it was 1,000 people a day.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, well, that seems like a big deal because I don't know 1,000 people.
Right.
And so at that point, we just we got really excited and energized and we just started figuring everything out.
That's amazing. So you went from this aha moment that is so relatable. And that's probably why you started to get so many followers and so many viewers.
Totally.
They just know that feeling, that anxiety. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this on Happy Money before. The money is emotion a lot of the time. So that anxiety of having those, groceries and trying to make ends meet. So what would you say is your core message at the Crazy Coupon Lady?
It's all about just looking at things a little bit differently. And the nice thing about couponing, especially today, is it's really scalable. So you can spend 20 minutes a week, or you could spend a couple hours a week. And the savings is going to scale depending on how much time you put in. But it's just about changing behavior in a few ways that work for you so that you're not just subject to the price that the store tells you you're going to pay, but there really is the consumer has options. And so depending on how many things you want to get into and how many apps you want, you really can scale it to hundreds of dollars a month, or you could spend, say $50 on your toothpaste and your shampoo and call it a day. And so It's really about just like taking control and being willing to like look at things a little bit differently. Do like change your behavior a little bit for that kind of big reward.
83%, it's shocking because it's so many.
Yeah.
83% of Americans are stressed about affording groceries. And even more, nearly 90% say they've cut back on spending in the past year. So this is very top of mind for everybody. Is couponing changing?
Yes, couponing is changing. I mean, it has changed so much in the 16 years that we've been doing this. There are no more coupon binders, thank goodness. Those were like, I mean, I had stronger muscles probably back then, but so much easier. So you don't need to, you still can print coupons. You still can use the coupons from the Sunday newspaper, but you don't have to do those things. It's really gone digital. And so that's the biggest thing. The retailer apps, those store apps have hundreds of dollars of coupons in them. And so that's a big change as well. And then there's also like these rebate apps that you can use. You just scan a picture of your receipt after you check out, and it's going to load some money into that account that you can cash out into your Venmo. And so like the way it's gone digital, and even just this month, we're launching a digital first barcode in the Crazy Coupon Lady app, so that all you have to do is scan that at the register, and you don't like no clipping of anything. And so it really has gone digital. I would say from like those extreme couponing days when we saw that on TLC, you can't get the like multiple cartloads of things. And, you know, it's kind of, there's not as many really great stackable deals anymore, but you can still, on the necessities, on those things that you're buying every day, there's still meaningful savings. But it's just not quite as like wild as it used to be.
Right. So maybe access to more savings, but maybe you might not get as much savings.
That's
okay. Right. So speaking of that, you have some very specific money saving hacks to help our viewers. What are your top 10 money saving hacks?
Okay, 10. You're going to have to count me down here.
All right.
So the first one that I always say is that you have to change the way that you meal plan. And so instead of like going to your recipe book and saying, okay, these are the 5 things that I'm going to buy, let's look at what's on sale first and then plan your meals around that. Okay. So if chicken breast is on sale this week, let's do a bunch of meals with chicken breast instead of what maybe you were planning to. And so just shopping around those sales for even the things that you maybe can't coupon for, that's going to save a ton. And then the next...
So real quick question with that. Where are you looking for these sales?
So you can look on the retailer website,
okay,
and just look at their weekly ad. They don't distribute it like in the newspaper anymore, but you can get their app or you can log on to their website and just see, usually the front page, you're going to see the produce, you're going to see like the meat that's on sale and all of that. And so that will kind of give you the first start for meal planning.
Okay, so one, base your meal plans on sales. Okay.
Yes. The second one I would say is that when something is on sale with a coupon or it's just a great price, make sure that you're buying as many as the store will allow so that you can create just a small little stockpile of those items. I'm not talking about a room in your house, but like one little, side of your pantry where you're putting the toothpaste that you get for free and the shampoo that's 50% off, so that when you run out, you're not going to the store and paying full price. You're going to your pantry where you got it for 60, 70, 80% off.
Okay, so stock up on sales would be your second one. Okay.
So then my third one is to just pick one retailer, start small, and try to figure out their rewards program or like what's the way that they run sales, because each store is a little bit different. And when I first learned this, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this everywhere at all the stores. And that's a great way to burn out on this. And so my favorite is actually a drugstore. Oh. So a Walgreens or a CVS, because they have, high everyday prices, but very low prices that get people into the door. And so that's where I'm getting all of my kind of personal care items often they're free. You can even make money on some of those items. And so pick a drugstore, find the one that's closest to your house and learn their program, because there's lots of steps to it. But once you get it, it's like second nature.
Wow.
But just pick one store. I like to have a drugstore and then a grocery store.
Okay, got it. That's so interesting about drugstores, because you think do everything at grocery store, but in fact, and we'll get into more of that later. Okay, keep going.
The savings and rebate apps are a really big key to this puzzle. And so there's one called Ibotta. There's one called Fetch, one called Shopkick. And you don't need all of them. You could, but just pick one of those and then just get into the habit after you go to the grocery store, grab your receipt, scan it, and you're going to save, several dollars every time. And each app is a little bit different, but just pick one and get used to that because it's a great way to save. It's taken over a lot of the more traditional manufacturer coupons as the way that these brands are releasing savings for consumers.
Okay, what about track prices for your favorite foods?
Yes. So some people get a little overwhelmed by this. I promise it's not too wild, but just think of those like 10 or 20 things that you're buying over and over. It's nice I just have a little note on my phone of like the price I'm paying per like toothpaste or toilet paper or some of those things that you're buying over and over, and just kind of understand what's the price you're paying normally so that when you see a deal, you kind of have the context for how good of a deal is this? How much should I be stocking up? My aim is always to be saving around 40% on those items where coupons are being released and they're going on sale. And so if you can kind of keep track of what you've been spending, then you'll know when something is a good deal or not.
Okay. And then how about the clearance sections? And then also your Dollar Trees and, you've clearance grocery stores too.
Yes. Okay. So the clearance at a grocery store is one of my favorite things. And people don't realize produce goes on clearance. The meat department puts things on clearance, the bakery, all of those things. And so even outside of maybe the traditional items that you would think go on clearance, be sure to browse. Each store has kind of a section. You can ask somebody where it is, but kind of that same idea of like, don't plan your meals and then go shop for it. Browse those spots in your grocery store because you can get 50% savings without doing anything, and then stick it in the freezer if you're not going to use it right away.
Right, because they might be expiring, but they haven't expired yet.
Exactly.
You can stick it in the freezer and last longer. Okay, good. How about stacking your savings? What does that even mean? And how about that one as a tip?
Okay, so this maybe should have been my first tip right out of the gate because this is the secret to what the Crazy Coupon Lady is all about. It's not about finding that 50-cent off coupon and going and using it at the grocery store. It's about using it, like timing it on purpose for when there's other things that you can do. So my favorite is when it's on sale and it's part of a promotion. Maybe it's at Target, they run their gift card promotions where if you buy 3 items, you get a $5 Target gift card. At the drugstores, they do something very similar. Same with all of the grocery stores. So you have to just like, whichever store you're shopping at, kind of understand how they do those promotions. So sale price plus promotion. Now we get a coupon involved, and then maybe there's a rebate app after that. So instead of just $1 coupon, now you're getting $4 in savings, and it drops that price real fast.
Wow. Okay. And what about you have Be Flexible?
Yes, this is another really big one. You have to sort of shift your mindset around brand loyalty and even store loyalty. That you'll save the most when you're a little bit flexible on the brand that you're buying, depending on what's on sale. And so I always say, be loyal to the price you're willing to pay, not the brand you're buying. And if you have that flexibility, you can save a lot more money.
And the last 2 tips are around your relationship with the brands themselves. So you have contact the brands and then follow them on social media.
Yes. One of the things that I've been surprised over the years is that brands really want to hear from their consumers. And when you think about it, they don't have a direct relationship with the consumer. The retailer does, but the brands don't really. And so when you email them and say, hey, I love your products, thank you so much, very often they will send you a coupon that you can use. And same thing on Facebook. They're using their Facebook pages to release coupons to consumers. And so those are great places to find coupons that you might not otherwise.
And maybe not just the brands that you like, but maybe also the grocery stores themselves.
That's right.
Got it. Okay. And then follow them on social media.
Yes.
So they're just putting those out there. Okay. So the 10 tips, just to go through them again so that we have them. 1, base meal plans on sales. 2, use drugstore apps. 3, use savings and rebate apps. 4, stock up with sales. 5, track prices for favorite foods and keep a buy list. 6, check clearance sections first. 7, be flexible. 8, stack savings. 9, contact the brands. And 10, follow those brands on social media. So let's start with grocery because those stats that I was reading at the top, I mean, 83% of Americans are stressed about groceries. And it's probably more than that because the others aren't talking about it.
That's right.
So let's dig a little deeper into saving money on groceries, because I know that's a huge pain point for 83% of Americans. And I really feel like the rest of them are just not admitting it. Everyone's feeling stressed about groceries these days. And I know it's a pain point for many, many people. So we have tracking your favorite foods, but also shop around and don't be beholden to one specific place to buy your groceries, right? Where are you going to buy your groceries, and where do you recommend people shop themselves?
Absolutely. So one of the things, kind of like with the flexibility of the brands that you're buying, the same goes for the retailers. And so if you're willing to kind of shop outside of that one store that you always go to, that's going to be the most helpful. I love a regional chain like Kroger or Publix or Safeway. Some of those, like where you might think of them as having higher regular prices, they run a lot of really competitive sales, especially with their loyalty programs, which really is a key to grocery savings. Is you have to make sure you sign up for the retailer's loyalty program. That's how you get the sale prices. The coupons are in there as well. And, it's really, the stores are getting very clever. And so they know everything we're buying. They have a lot of data. But what that means for the consumer is we're getting offers for the things that we're buying. Or maybe we always buy this one brand, and so the competitor brand gives us a coupon to try to get us over. So, some people don't like the idea that they know everything and all of that, but I view it as a way to get more savings.
It can work to your advantage.
Exactly.
That is so interesting.
Start to become conscious of the price that you're paying, down to like for toilet paper. Those packages are so confusing, but if you can just narrow it down to the price per square foot, which sounds like nerdy and complicated, but it's really not. It all lists it.
Yeah.
But then know that price so that when or like for your laundry detergent, what are you paying per load of laundry detergent? You could spend an hour one afternoon and just get all of that into a spreadsheet, and then just make sure you're looking at it before you buy anything so that you know that you're not overspending.
How do you feel about your Costco's, your Sam's Clubs, like your big box grocery stores or big retailers when it comes to stocking up on some of your favorite products?
Those are some of the best deals you can find, but you have to be careful because not everything is a good deal. And so that's why that price book is so important, so that you don't just walk into a Costco or a Sam's Club and assume that everything is a great price, because it's not. But they have their instant savings that's going to come off at the register. You can stack with the rebate apps like I was talking about with Ibotta. And so you can get great savings. It's just all about knowing those prices.
Okay, got it. And it's really like getting not just the prices, but look at that like price of the single sheet of toilet paper, like really get in there and
know the ounces or like any of that. Because at Costco, it's inflated because it's bigger products. And so you just have to make sure that you know the prices.
Right, because you're always going to need that toilet paper. So the more that you can afford to buy up front,
that's right,
the smaller price, the better off.
Yes.
Got it. All right. So, and you talk about that no one should be paying full price for your toothpaste, your laundry detergent. And you have a really good tip for how to do that. How might people not pay that full price for those household items?
Yes. I always say that nobody should be paying, like more than a quarter for their toothpaste. And I'm serious.
So you mean like an actual like quarter coin?
An actual quarter.
Okay.
Because so at the drugstores, every week there's at least one brand of toothpaste that's a loss leader. They're running it to get you into the store. And so it's very often it's free or under 50 cents. And so the drugstores really, even for laundry detergent, hair care, body wash, they're running really aggressive sales. And so that's the only place that I'm buying any of those types of products is at a drugstore.
So the drugstore. So you are going to the drugstore for your detergent, your household items, your toothpaste.
Yep.
And what I hear there is that you often have this sort of like emotional attachment to certain kinds of toothpastes potentially. And we've talked about that already, but like try to get rid of some of those and fight back on the marketing. Because I would imagine a lot of these toothpastes are exactly the same. They're just all about the marketing on the outside.
Yep.
And the generic brand also is often exactly the same as the name brand, right? So a lot of these kind of, again, it's sort of breaking up with that emotional attachment you might have with like, your brand names, potentially. And drugstores, ding, ding, ding. That's the key. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I was just going and doing all my shopping at the grocery store and like, picking up my prescription at the drugstores. But there's so much.
No, you got to stop. Yes. So for the drugstores, make sure you sign up for their loyalty program, because all of the sales are tied to that. And then they have a ton of coupons in their app. So you can load those to your card, enter your phone number at checkout. The coupons will come off. And they all have different programs. And so at CVS, they have their extra bucks promotions. And so when you spend $20 on certain items, you're going to get $10 back that you can use next time you're shopping. And so that's how we're doing it. From week to week, we're earning our extra bucks. Maybe we get $20 in extra bucks. And then next week, I'm using that $20 to take my total down. And so you kind of roll it from week to week. And that's the game you play there.
It's really like building these habits, and they're very satisfying. I love when I get all those coupons from CVS. I'm like, give me.
Yes.
And then when you see the money at the end, and it's like the red minus sign of all the money coming off, it's like,
there's nothing better in the whole world.
Feeling.
It just drops and drops. And you're like, okay, $3. Thank you very much.
The best. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of drugstores, let's talk about beauty products, because at Women's World, we often talk about beauty dupes at some of the drugstores. And you see it all over TikTok. So everyone's like, oh, this is, this lipstick is exactly a dupe for that. What are some of your tips when it comes to buying beauty products? Because, sometimes we think of beauty product. Well, we talk about beauty products as something to treat yourself, but it sounds like you can treat yourself for a lot less than you might think.
Yes. And beauty is one of the categories that releases the most coupons, because when you think from a brand perspective, most often they're releasing coupons when there's new innovation or there's something, new to market and they really want consumers to try it. And so beauty is one of those categories that they're doing new innovation, new products all the time. So there's a ton of coupons for that every week. And that's really Target, Walmart, the drugstores, even grocery stores all have sales. Drugstores, my favorite for beauty as well. And CVS has so many great promotions every week. And they're really good at, they carry a lot of the products that are known for being dupes. And so that's my favorite thing, to your point, is to get on TikTok and kind of see what people are doing, because I don't know that right out of the gate. But then being willing to try kind of a brand that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise to see. And it's, 50%, 60%, 70% savings on some of those brands.
That is so cool. Yeah, I think there was Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk dupe that's like a L'Oreal. I love that side of TikTok. Yeah. But also I think some of these name brand beauty products are being manufactured potentially in the same places.
Yeah,
some of these
that's
dupes.
very common. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So again, I feel like we keep coming back to it, but it's so important to kind of break up with your idea of what brands are better than others when often they're kind of exactly the same. Yeah. So interesting. Okay. So now let's talk about another important one, clothes. I actually love Costco for clothes, and for athleisure. And you often see a lot of these big name companies, which shall not be named, suing the likes of these other retailers for their dupes because they are exactly the same. So what are your tips when it comes to buying clothes and saving money?
Okay. So my number one tip, especially for kids, is I buy a season ahead for them. And so instead of, in October when it starts to get cold and you're like, oh gosh, they've outgrown their winter coats, I'm going to go pay for them full price. I'm actually doing it at the end of winter. So March, April, depending on where you live, look for those clearance sales and buy the size ahead so that when winter comes, you're not paying full price.
Got it. Okay. So it's a lot about spending the time. The time is worth the money. It's spending the time to plan and plan ahead. You have given us so many great tips and tricks here. It can feel a little overwhelming sometimes because it's where do I even begin? I actually don't coupon at all right now, much other than, my CVS or what have you. Where does somebody start? And what would you say if someone's feeling a little I'm a single mom, I'm busy, I don't have time, I got to work. How do I even begin to work this into my very busy schedule?
Totally. No. Okay. So number one tip is to download the Crazy Coupon Lady app, because we really are like a personal shopper for deals. And so in our app, you can favorite whatever stores you think you'll go to. And I would say keep that list small as you're starting. And like I said earlier, pick one store that you want to try this out. There's articles all over the internet, on TikTok, everywhere about how to take advantage of the programs. And so just learn whatever the store is that you're couponing at, they're going to have some program that they do with their sales, and just give it a shot. Grabbing a friend doesn't hurt because shopping is fun to do with somebody else. And so that was my ticket, is like, this is overwhelming, but let me grab a friend and do this together. But it really is just pick one store and do a 30-minute deep dive on how to save at that store. And it will become clear pretty quickly. And as soon as you try it, you'll be like, this makes sense. I remember the light bulb of just, that's all this is. This is not that complicated. It is, because we're talking about a lot of different things. But if you keep it small, and when you go to try, like with your first little couponing trip, buy 2 or 3 things. Just like kind of test it out. I remember being really embarrassed to use coupons at the register, right? There's kind of that stigma. And I learned very quickly, like, I actually am embarrassed for the people who aren't using coupons at the register, because this is available for all of us. And who wants to pay full price when, like, we could use that money to get out of debt or save up for a family vacation or whatever the thing might be. And so it's really just about getting in there and trying it. Just this week, pick one store, get the Crazy Coupon Lady app, because we post all of the deals. You don't have to go source and hunt anything. You can just browse the hundreds of deals that we're posting every single day and be like, yep, I want those things.
Your Instagram is great too, because you just like go in on whatever those deals are for the week and make it so easy.
Yeah.
So find that grocery store that you love, like you have to really know it, and just like stay focused.
Yep.
Find that drugstore that's closest to you and learn how to work your way around the aisles there and around the couponing there. Keep it simple, it sounds like, and start slow.
And just adopt this mindset of like, how could I get this for a little bit cheaper? Because there's so, like, depending on what you want to do and how much time you want to spend, this can translate into every like facet of your life. Like, I don't plan my family vacations around where we want to go. I like go and look, okay, where are the deals? And then we're like picking. So like the same mindset can work for really everything you're buying.
Like what you're going to cook that week and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
It kind of makes it fun.
It is. It's like gamifying it.
Right.
And like, it is quite fun. Quite fun. Yeah.
I love that. Well, Heather, thank you so much for coming on Happy Bunny. You have given us so many great tips to go with. I'm going to start couponing and be better about it. I'm excited.
Let me know about this. I want to hear
the satisfaction and just like seeing the price get the drop that I live for. So thank you for joining us on Happy Money. Remember to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Share this ultimate guide to everyday savings with a friend. They can watch on YouTube or listen on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, little changes can add up to big savings. Thanks, Heather. This has been great.
Thank you so much.